Yep.
Okay, got Kansas State. I guess they're defending Big 12 champs. You turn on the film, you can see why. Their head coach is an excellent coach. All three phases, they're sound. Defensively, I think they're, third in the country in rush defense at 50 yards, 6th in tackles for loss, 16th in sacks. I mean, they play in other people's backfield. They're very disruptive. Odd front team that pressures a lot. Pretty unique on the back end with their coverages. It has some challenges with IDing things. Offensively, their quarterback, excellent guy. They protect the football. They have a tight end that you definitely got to know where he's at. Really good player, along with a couple of receivers too. Their special teams, when you turn on their film, the special teams, they do a great job. And what I like and what I respect is they're a very physical team. Very physical. They know how to play, and that's a reflection of their head coach. Questions?
Yeah, just talking about what this moment means to UCF. I know we've made a lot about the Big 12 and we've been getting play. It's been almost 2 years since the invitation went out. Now you're playing your first Big 12 game. What does that mean to the program?
Yeah. I mean, of course, we've talked a lot about it. We're glad it's here. We just happen to be playing the defending champs in the league, and you can see why when you turn on the film. It'll be a really good challenge for our team about where we're at right now. We're real happy to be 3-0, but we've not played anybody of the caliber that we're fixing to play. I've been there before. It's a great environment. We had a really good team when we went last, and we barely got there alive, and it was just a really loud environment that we'll have to do a good job handling the noise.
Gus, along those lines, you had the trip to Boise State. How did that game, maybe road game, prepare you guys going into this weekend? And as you mentioned, what are you doing maybe to kind of combat some of the noise issues and some of the things you may be facing this weekend?
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part. Of course, we've got to solve our pre-snap penalties. And, we had pre-snap penalties last week at home when it was quiet. That has to be solved. That's been a point of emphasis. It will be loud there. We know that. We'll have crowd noise every day in practice. And, we got a new quarterback, too, on the road. So, we'll have to handle that. But that's part of it. I mean, that's part of it. It's game 4. We need to do a good job not having the self-inflicted wounds.
Kansas State's quarterback was banged up a little bit against Missouri, and it's not 100% clear if he'll play. How much of an extra level of challenge does that add in preparation?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be prepared for all the what-ifs, each week. So we'll cross that bridge when it gets there, and got to prepare for, both the quarterbacks.
What progress do you want to see Timmy make game 1?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just experience. The first quarter, and of course we didn't do a great job. We snapped the ball late one time. We snapped the ball early one time. We rolled it back there. That made it extra tough for him in the first quarter. But like I said, you saw, once the game got going, he settled down. He made some good plays. He made some really good plays when things broke down. That's a sign of a good quarterback, and he made some plays with his legs, and he was efficient in the passing game. So we'll have to really keep building upon that. I really believe each time out there he's going to get more and more comfortable. But this is one of the better defenses we'll face, all season. So we'll have to be really good around him too.
You mentioned how good Kansas State's rush defense is. You guys are one of the better rushing offenses in the nation, at least by statistics so far this year. How important is it to establish that ground game to make life easier?
Yeah, you have to. We're a run play action team, and so they're one of the best. We got to be successful running the football. Now that's a big challenge, but that's what we got to do if we want to have a chance to win the game. And so we'll have to have a good plan and have to be effective running the ball.
In such a historic game for the program, what's the message to the guys to keep them kind of calm but also treating this opponent with such respect?
Well, they can turn the film on today and they can see we're playing a higher level opponent. Our guys understand that. We have a lot of veteran guys that have played for us in some pretty big games, and then we have all these transfers. A lot of those guys have played in big games too. So we know what we're getting into. It's time. It's time. We got to raise our level, and our guys understand that. They're looking forward to it. This will be a lot of fun.
You mentioned the center miscues. How do you approach that this week? Is Caden Kittler the starter? Is it a competition going
Yeah,
forward?
there's some competition. I mean, like I said, we're not going to have any more self-inflicted wounds, up front with that position. So we'll have some competition, and we'll see. I mean, obviously, game 4, you'd like to have all that lined out, but we're still a work in progress is figuring out. We've played multiple guys up front. We had a couple injuries. We moved some people around, so it's time we start kind of zeroing in, getting those 5 guys that we're going with ready. So it'll be some competition this week in practice. We'll go from there.
Are there any updates on Ricky Barber and Jordan Masks? Their availability?
Yeah, we're hopeful all the guys will be back playing right now. I mean, we'll see. We hadn't practiced yet, but right now I'd say all those guys that besides JR, that will have a chance. We're hopeful that'll play.
What did you see from the defense in the first 3 games? Obviously, the point totals have been way down. But how comfortable do you feel with the defense's ability?
Yeah, I think we've done a really good job. I think up front we've disrupted people, and we knew going this season we'd have a chance to be good. We're going to have to be really good up front again this week. I think we've done some good things on the back end too. So we'll just have to get better each week.
I guess what have you seen out of the wide receiver group? You've got so much talent. You've been able to rotate some of these guys in.
Yeah.
What has it seen from that group?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job. Now we've had a couple drops. We got to solve the drops. I mean that's really the big thing. We're playing without the ball better. We still need to grow in that area, but we need to solve the drops. When you start playing the better teams, especially on the road, you've got to take advantage of every opportunity you get.
You kind of touched on it in your opening statement about the atmosphere UCF's going to go into. You played at Kansas State at your previous school in 2014. It'll be like this all season long in the Big 12. What do you kind of remember about that game and that atmosphere?
Yeah, I remember they had a bunch of Harleys, and they were pregame, and I don't know, there's probably 100 of them, and that stood out to me. And then once the game got going, they're pretty close to you. It was extremely loud. It was a real atmosphere. So, we expect that again.
Earlier you mentioned John Rice. It's just been a week, but how would you describe his progress, and what sort of force and factor has he been in the locker room and with Timmy?
I think his progress is going really well. As far as his recovery, but he's doing everything he can. He's in every meeting. He was on the sideline talking to our quarterbacks, helping with adjustments, things like that. So he's just doing anything he can to help us win until he gets back.
What's it like when you lose on a field goal? Kansas State's obviously coming off a really tough
Yeah.
loss at Missouri, a 61-yard field goal, the longest in SEC history. Obviously that's not your concern, but what does that do to a team when you're coming off a loss like that I'm sure they're going to be angry?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get their best. I mean, I know from a coach's standpoint, once you get done with the non-conference, it's kind of a different feel going into conference too, so I expect them to feel the same way we are. Bottom line is we got to play good football. We knew that. We've been planning for this. We saw it in the schedule, defending champs. That coach, the coaching staff's one of the best. We know it. So we want to have a chance to win. We got to play good football, and that's expectation. And I'm excited for our guys to go out and practice this week. I know they're excited. You could just say we had practice last night, and you could feel it. I mean, you could feel it's a little bit different with the urgency, and really that's what's got to happen. I expect our guys to be ready.
Coach, what are some of the advantages of going against the reigning conference champions on your first game in the conference?
You're going to see exactly where you're at. That's what I would say. I mean, they still look like right up there at the top, if not the top. So it'll be a good measuring stick where we're at, and looking forward to playing.
UCF's got 5 Big 12 road games this season. How much of a confidence boost would it be for the rest of those games to be able to knock out one of those road games?
Oh yeah, I mean every time you go on the road and you win, even like the boys, that gives us confidence the next time. It's hard to do. Once again, I mean we're preparing for those situations, in the game scenarios, and everything that goes with it. It's hard to win on the road in college football. It's hard to win on the road against really, really good teams in college football. But we knew that, and that's part of it. And that was the schedule we were given, and we're embracing it. And we talked about it, so looking forward to going to watch them.
John Walker's going off his highest graded performance of the year. So beyond just the stats, what do you like from seeing him on film and ways?
Yeah, I mean, we recruited him. We knew he's one of the best in the country, we felt like, and now he's proven on the field. And my experience is, we recruited a lot of really talented freshmen. Some freshmen have the mental aspect of college football. It takes him a little bit. And so far, it hadn't taken him a lot, and that's really stood out to me. And there's some other freshmen too that are out there playing at a high level, and we got a really, really special group that we recruited. So the future is really set up.
How important was that experience for Timmy last week, getting his feet wet as starter, especially going into such a big game like this?
It really played out really well for him in that situation. There's nothing like experience. I mean, like I said, he hadn't started in 2 years, and now you feel what it feels like again. You go out there, you're around your teammates, you got other teams, you got to adjust, you got to protect the football, you got to communicate, just all those things that you take for granted. That nothing like experience. And I really feel like each time he's out there in each play, it'll slow down more and more, and it slowed down for him as the game went on. So we'll have to continue to do that.
Gus, you've taken quarterbacks on the road, many places, hostile environments. What do you tell a guy like Timmy, first road game in 2 years, in a hostile environment? What do you need from him to kind of maybe calm him down a little bit?
Yeah, just run the offense. I mean that's really it. We got to be really good around him and all that. But just be himself. He's a really good quarterback. He's got the attributes to be a really good quarterback. So just need to go out there and play and adjust as we go.
When you look at Kansas State offensively or defensively, what else kind of stands out? I know you talked about their coach at the beginning. How good are they?
Yeah. What stands out to me when you turn the film on, they're a physical football team. I got a lot of respect for physical football teams, and I got a lot of appreciation. And so, it'll be really good for us to experience that. Looking forward to it.
With a 3-0 start, what are you most pleased about with your team?
The way that we've handled ourselves. We hadn't played our best football, but we played extremely hard, and we got a lot of area to improve on. That's probably the big positive. Our guys understand that, but we need to be one of those teams that every week we get a little better. College football, I've said it before, very few teams can do that. That's our challenge, but we have a lot of areas to grow.
What kind of growth have you seen from Kobe Hudson? We heard a little bit from Darren Henshaw last night about just the jump he's taken and how serious he's taken everything, just all the little things that he's doing right now.
Yeah, it's been his approach to practice off the field. He had his best 2 weeks of practice since he'd been here in 2 years. And every rep was a game rep. And what happened, it carried over in the game. So he's that type of player. My expectations he'll continue to do that. If he does that, then he's going to have a really good year.
How did you feel Timmy operated in the pocket? I know he said he's real comfortable with that backyard style and everything. You said he really worked on getting to be a true quarterback in the system.
Yeah, and it's just a feel thing. And like I said, in his defense, there's a lot of those plays. That was the first time against an opponent, in a game-like situation that he experienced those. Then he saw some things. Okay, next time I can do this. Next time, but he does have playmaking ability, like you said. When things break down, he has some natural things to him. I think that's important in college football because everything's not going to be perfect every time, and he does have that ability. Okay, thank you all.